Hello, thanks for joining me. As you can see, I'm in the workshop today and I'm going to change the screen on my Triumph Scrambler 1200. This is a 1200 XE. If you follow my channel, you know that I bought this bike second hand, and when I bought it, it already had this small screen on, and I said at the time I'm quite happy riding a naked bike, so I'm going to see how I get on with this. And actually even though it's a small screen, it's the taller version, because I've got a smaller one here. If I hold that against it, you can see that there is actually a smaller screen which Triumph made, which really just sort of covers up the front of the clocks, and that's a sort of smoked one. And I had thought about putting that on, but I've now done a couple of seasons of touring on the bike. Put a lot of miles on the bike, done over 20,000 miles touring on the bike now, and I've decided to go for a taller screen, try a taller screen. Now, I do love riding a naked bike, and for most of the time when I'm touring, I'm travelling relatively slowly, 50-60 miles an hour, and that's absolutely fine on a naked bike. However, two issues. One is when you do want to do a faster stint, a longer stint on a motorway, it is quite uncomfortable on the Triumph. It's doable because I've done it and I've done plenty of them. But the riding position on this bike is bolt upright. You're not leaning into the wind at all. You bolt upright, so you get the full force of the wind on your chest and on your head. And it can get tiring after a few hours. And I've done a couple of quite long days, motorway days, and it is really quite tiring. Also, and if you follow my videos, I've ridden through quite a lot of bad weather as well, particularly in France during my time in France earlier this year. And so I'm looking for a screen just to offer that little bit more protection. So I did some research at the different options available, and I might actually make a separate video because I've done quite a bit of research into it. But I sort of narrowed it down to two main options. One is the Triumph touring screen, and the other is the unit garage screen. And I've decided to go with the unit garage screen. I've decided to try it. So here it is. This is my new unit garage screen. If I hold it in front here of the standard screen, you can see it's considerably taller. So that's the top of the standard screen. Well, I say standard, the smaller one only comes to there. Standard screen. And then this one, if I put it in front, it's right up here. And also you can see it's quite a bit wider, and that's one of the reasons that I went for the unit garage screen. And another thing is, I don't know if you can see, there's a vent hole here, and I'm hoping that is going to help reduce turbulence. That is quite often a problem with screens. I shied away from fitting this because you read on the forums and some people say, oh, I fitted a taller screen, couldn't get on with it at all, got a lot of buffeting around the helmet. Other people say, no, it was absolutely fine. There's only one way of finding out for yourself, it's to try it. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to fit this screen today, and I'm just going to see how I get on with it. So it's very straightforward, fitting the screen. You just remove the headlight, then remove the brackets for this screen, fit the unit garage mounting bracket, which is this one here, and then you can fasten the screen to the front of it. However, as I'm doing the job, I might as well make a video of it. So, if you want to watch along. If not, you can skip to the end and I'll have a test ride and I'll give my feedback on what I think it's like with this unit garage screen on. The headlight is fastened on each side to this silver bracket with a 6mm Allen bolt. So just need an Allen key to undo these on each side. And then you can lift the headlight away. Just very gently, just let that rest down there. The two bolts going to keep in I have a whole lot of these little magnetic trays in my garage. Very useful for just putting things in so you don't lose them. It's actually quite difficult getting enough light on this to show you, but this screen, the small Triumph screen, is fastened on inside the silver headlight mounting brackets with 4 Allen head bolts. There's 1, 2 there, and then 2 on the other side, and they are 3mm. I'm not going to be able to film and doing those because my hand's going to be in the way, as you can see. So I'll just undo those and then I can remove that Triumph screen. Hello again. Right, I wish I could say, oh, it was 2 minutes since I just switched the camera off to remove the old screen. But this is a perfect example of how sometimes a small job turns into a big job. So I just want to share with you what happened. So as I indicated before, the screen mount is fastened on with 4 3mm Allen head bolts that are on the inside of the silver headlight bracket. 3 of them came out fine. The 4th one, when I got to it, interestingly, it was loose, so it wasn't all the way in, and the Allen head was rounded on it. So somebody at some point has put it in, cross-threaded it and jammed it in, didn't get it all the way, and rounded the head off. So this is the perils of working on a bike that somebody's already worked on. So the only way I could get to it, because it was right at the back, the only way I could get to it was to actually remove this headlight bracket. To remove the headlight bracket, you've got to remove the top yoke, the top triple tree, and to remove that, you've got to remove the handlebars. There's a big 38mm nut in the center, and so on and so on. So I took the bracket off. I then ended up having to, here's the offending bolt. If I can zoom in on that, it was totally rounded off, so I ended up having to use a grinder to cut a cross thread in it, and then an impact driver to get that out, and then I've had to chase out the thread in the bracket here to make sure that's clean to fit the new bolt. So that's just what happens when you're working on a bike that somebody else has botched up at some point in the past. Right, so now what I'm going to do is put all this back together, put the bracket back on, clamp down the top, torque everything down, and put the handlebars back on, and then I'm at the stage where I can then fit the new bracket for the unit garage screen. That's the front end of the bike back together, the yokes and the handlebars and everything back on, so back on track to where I should be, but that was about a 3/4 of an hour digression, but these things happen. Now I'm going to mount this bracket for the unit garage taller screen, and that just fastens into the same 4 holes on the inside of the headlight bracket that the old screen came off. Got 4 new, and they're again 3mm Allen head bolts. Going to stick a little bit of Loctite on each one of those and then put them in and tighten that all up. That's the new screen mounting frame on, and I'm pleased to say that fitting that was an absolute breeze. Just the 4 bolts, and now I've sorted out the one that had been jammed. That went on in about 2 minutes. Refitted the headlight. Obviously adjusted that because I had it off, make sure that the beam was okay for low beam and high beam, just by shining it at the back of the workshop wall, making sure that that's adjusted fine. So that's the frame on, nice. Let's get the screen on and then we're finished. That's the screen on, it's fastened on with these 4 bolts there, and then supplied with little black caps that just clip over the top of the screws there. Looks neat. There we have it, new screen fitted. What we need just to finish that off is a nice Songs from the Saddle sticker. Try and get that fairly straight on that. There we are. So let's have a look. I'll zoom the camera out, sit on the bike, and we'll have a look what it looks like. That's almost an eye level view of the screen, so you can see it's quite a bit taller. Very notice having a screen on the front there. I'll hop on the bike, see what that looks like. Oh yeah, definitely we're having a screen there. It's well below my eye level, but we just got to see what that's like. One thing I noticed is different to the Triumph screen is the bracket here, the top bit pulls back, so there's actually room to mount a sat-nav on there, a GPS on that bar there. So I might do something with that. I currently have my GPS mounted here on the handlebar, but yeah, we'll see. Just in the first instance, it's time to take it out for a test ride and see what it's like, whether I get turbulence, whether there's better wind protection. So let's go out for a little ride and see what it's like, shall we?
Hello again. It is now actually a couple of days since I fitted the new screen on the bike, and I've done about 200 miles on the bike with the screen, so I've had a good chance to see what it's like. So I'm just coming on to the A1 here so I can wind the bike up to 70 miles an hour and just demonstrate. I'm definitely going to stick to 70 miles an hour here, because I can see there's a police car coming up behind me. Anyway, yeah, what can I say? I am more than delighted with this screen. I have to say that it exceeds my expectations. There is no turbulence at all, none. I've got no air pressure on my chest, so it's sitting at 70 miles an hour here, very comfortable, very, very relaxed. I'm not sort of bracing myself against the wind as I was before with the smaller screen. Very relaxed. I'm wearing a helmet with a peak on it, and I'm wearing that on purpose because I've found in the past they are the ones that really do tend to catch the wind. If the screen is flipping the wind up, it'll catch the peak, and that's when you get the buffeting. But no buffeting at all. I can flick my visor up, and I'm definitely getting air in the face, so that it's coming up the screen, I'm getting air in my face, but no buffeting. So, well, what can I say? I'm absolutely delighted. This is exactly why I fitted the screen. This is exactly what I wanted, and it seems to be working. There goes the police car. I saw him come up quite a long way behind him in my mirror because he had his blue lights on, very visible. Anyway, yeah, a success as far as I'm concerned. So another step towards making my Scrambler an absolute top-notch touring bike. Thanks for watching. I hope you found this video useful if you're looking at different screens for your bike. I did a lot of research in preparing for deciding what to buy, and I looked at different options. So if I've got time, I'll make another separate video where I just go through all of the different options that I looked at. Might be useful for you, because obviously this screen's not necessarily going to be for everybody. Anyway, thanks for watching. Ride safe. Hopefully see you again soon. Bye.